Neon hums over the sink. You lean into the glass and call it betrayal, but the mirror returns to your face. Under pressure, the mind reaches for an old defense. It sends what it can't bear across the room. Freud called this projection unwanted hunger, jealousy, or fear reassigned to her, so you can feel clean for one more night. The relief is real, temporary, and addictive. You mistake being chosen for being understood. You confuse her silence with proof of guilt and name it vigilance. Projection in relationships repeats until you forget. The attention economy fattens the loop. A reel, a profile, a like, each becomes a stencil for fantasy. Jung warned that disowned traits look for a host. The shadow prefers a moving target. Dating dynamics reward dramatized stories, so you keep feeding them, and they keep feeding you. You polish the mask and wonder why your breath feels thin behind it. You ask for certainty from a screen and lose sovereignty in the trade. Desire also wants an audience. Lacan mapped how your wanting hooks to the gaze of the other. You seek confirmation and end up performing. You perform, and the chessboard tilts until every square demands reaction. You think you're reading her, but you're reciting yourself. If the mirror is lying, it's because you taught it your lines. Freud began with a hard truth. When a wish feels dangerous, you push it outside and then swear you merely observed it. This is Freud's projection, a primitive shield. You feel clean, briefly. You trade self-command for plausible deniability. On the stage of romance, you hand her your mask and judge her for wearing it. This is the masculine cost of defense mechanisms. Anna Freud mapped the patterns. Under pressure, people idealize, then devalue, because fantasy cannot carry the weight of unfulfilled wants. You call it intuition. It is bookkeeping. In projection in relationships, you outsource conflict and chase confirmation. In dating dynamics, that loop scales fast. Breadcrumbs, soft ghosting, orbiting prompts that keep the story alive while reality starves. Jung treated projection as a bridge back to the shadow. Withdraw it, and energy returns to the forge, where you can shape it into standards, boundaries, and work. You mistake intensity for honesty. Intensity without ownership is performance. Individuation asks for quiet fidelity to what is yours. You recover masculine sovereignty by naming the hunger and holding it. Lacan adds a final edge. Desire forms around lack, not the object. You want the other's gaze to endorse you, so you perform for it and feel emptier for the effort. The chessboard tilts, and every move is a reaction. You can stop there or step off. To escape this defense, you must see how it buys you comfort and sells you power. Under specific incentives, you start chasing the pattern rather than the person. A reply lands, then vanishes. A story lights up, then goes dark. Variable rewards hardwire pursuit. You think effort equals progress, and you feed the slot machine. In seduction psychology, uncertainty is currency. You mistake scarcity for value. The result is overinvestment disguised as romance, projection in relationships sold as loyalty. Freud mapped the engine beneath the chase. When a wish feels risky, you place it on her and call the feeling evidence. Projective jealousy grows teeth. The online scene becomes a confession. A delayed text becomes a verdict. You hand away leverage to protect an image of innocence. You read latency as longing and double your bid. In dating dynamics, signals replace standards, and you sink into proof-seeking while the balance of power tilts. Jung warned that anima inflation turns a woman into a screen. You no longer meet a human. You curate a mask and beg it to love you back. Every post becomes a sacrament, every silence a storm. You say it's devotion, it is escape. Withdraw the film, and you recover attention for discipline and routes toward individuation. The more you own the film, hunger, the less it needs a host. Lacan added the trap's cruelest twist. You want the other's desire more than the person, so you perform for the gaze and call it a connection. Board shifts like war. One impulsive move at a time, you abandon position. Standards blur, boundaries soften, and masculine sovereignty drains through 1,000 small approvals. Stop feeding fantasy. Reclaim your stance, your schedule, your say. She does not trap you. You are trapped by what you assign to her. You are not sentenced. You are participating. Under stress, you reach for a shield and call it realism. Freud's projection feels clean because it moves the heat away from your chest. The moment the signal appears a late reply, a changed tone, you turn it into a story. That is how defense mechanisms recruit you. You say you're careful, you're curating alibis. You mistake vigilance for sovereignty. You mistake being chosen for being understood. The mirror is neutral. Your editing makes it accuse you back. You have power where you can observe. Jung's shadow is not a ghost. It is refused energy waiting to be claimed. Withdraw the image you painted on her and reclaim wattage for work, sleep, and standards. The phone stops dictating your mood. The calendar starts. Boundaries replace essays. Attention returns to the forge. Repetitions, output, steady meals. Individuation isn't romance theory. It's logistics practiced daily until your nervous system trusts you more than the feed. Stop begging the mask to love you. Start governing the man who wears it. Under specific incentives, people mistake attention for affection. The attention economy profits from your doom scrolling, interpreting, and performing. The Stoics trained perception. Label, breathe, delay, decide. Do the same in dating dynamics. Name the signal, refuse the story, act from terms you pre-committed. You ask others for calm while destabilizing yourself. Choose masculine sovereignty instead. Fewer transactions, clearer standards, a slower yes. You don't need new lines, you need limits, kept in quiet repetition. Once you take back what you projected, you can decide where it works. Performance tries to buy desire. Presence makes it unnecessary. When you perform, you rehearse an old loop. Charm, check, panic, repeat. Freud called it repetition compulsion. Your nervous system reenacts the first bond that taught you to hustle for crumbs. So you send proofs, stack emojis, and test her temperature every hour. It isn't devotion, it's projection in relationships wearing perfume. You mistake being busy for being chosen. The mask smiles while the chest tightens. Each gesture trades position for applause, and every applause demands another gesture under bright lights. Presence begins where performance ends. Withdraw the glitter and meet the quiet. Jung held that individuation builds gravity without display. Energy reclaimed from the shadow settles into your spine. You speak less and signal more through structure, sleep kept, training logged, work shipped on schedule. Boundaries convert soft promises into clean edges. You stop chasing and start pacing. You mistake drama for proof. The proof is rhythm. You don't ask the mirror for permission. You occupy the throne by doing what the role requires. Scarcity without theatrics reads strongest. Evolutionary psychology notes how self-sufficiency and selective availability shape mate value. In modern dating dynamics, try-hard tells instant replies, essay texts, performative vulnerability advertise losses you are trying to reverse. Standards restore leverage. Fewer openings, more precise terms, consistent follow-through. This is masculine sovereignty expressed as a calendar, not a speech. Keep your time, protect your attention economy, and let selection work in silence. Play the chessboard, not the crowd. Desire respects structure. Projection begs for applause. You will feel the silence as a tax. The first nights without the loop taste like sand. Under treatment, Freud recommended abstinence from soothing rituals. You practice the same with phones and checking. The point is not punishment but clarity. When you stop projecting, withdrawal begins. The body asks for the performance that keeps heat outside. You mistake fatigue for failure. You mistake quiet for danger. Hold fast. Projection in relationships taught you to outsource storms. Extinction is not pretty. Cravings spike before they die. That is the curve. Intermittent rewards train you. Absence will untrain you. You will reach for the slot machine seen, typing, last online, and decide to exit the casino. The attention economy will bait you with near misses. Let the craving rise, crest, then pass quietly. Friends may call this distance cold. Dating dynamics will tempt you to re-enter with louder displays. You will keep your terms anyway. You mistake applause for oxygen. Learn to breathe without it. Kierkegaard knew that choosing the self with inwardness invites misunderstanding. Some people will label your boundaries arrogance because your absence starves their scripts. Accept it. Keep the routine. Meals, training, work finished on schedule. Repair the room, not the rumor. Individuation is held in repetitions that no one claps for. You mistake speed for progress. Pace keeps promises. This is masculine sovereignty learned in the dark. Prepare for boredom, for mockery, for days that feel narrow and dignified. Endure like iron in a forge and like soldiers holding a ridge. If you can cross the quiet, you can have the throne. Begin with position, not mood. Name 3 daily minimums that advance your mission, and do them before conversation. 1 unit of training, 1 block of work, 1 act of order in your environment. Keep them small and finished. Freud noted that observing defenses loosens them. When you log actions, you watch the urge to perform for approval without obeying it. You mistake being busy for being chosen. You correct it by finishing what you promised yourself. Boundaries turn hours into territory. Treat attention like a scarce material. In dating dynamics, you answer when your schedule allows, not when anxiety calls. This is masculine sovereignty built as a calendar, not a speech. Reclaim the energy you keep exporting. Jung held that withdrawing projections and reintegrating anima reduces the compulsion to chase a screen. Audit your leaks, texting to soothe, scrolling to fantasize, casual displays to harvest reassurance. Replace each with a boring, repeatable practice: meals kept, sleep defended, sessions tracked. The forge is repetition at heat. Stay long enough to shape steel, not sparks. You mistake drama for depth. Depth is continuity. Individuation isn't a mood. It's custody of attention and consequence. Run selection by deselection. Each week, choose what to protect and what to cut. Say no to 1 pleasant drain. Say yes to 1 compounding skill. Play the chessboard, not the crowd. Control center squares mornings, money, movement, and the game tilts your way. Your routine is a mask you can trust because you wrote the script. You mistake openness for virtue. Standards are kinder and longer lived. As projection shrinks, women become people again: clear, specific, human. You stop performing for a screen and meet a person. Let the image dissolve. She is not a mirror for your wish or a stage for your rescue. When you withdraw the animal from her and bring it home, warmth returns where fantasy drained it. Jung held that the inner feminine becomes a guide once reclaimed. It redirects you toward craft, rest, and proportion. You speak plainly, listen directly, and test reality rather than rehearse it. Respect steadies, neither idol nor enemy, simply human and specific. Practice contact over the theater. In modern dating dynamics, clarity beats volume, a concrete plan, time-capped messaging, and boundaries kept without speeches. Attachment research shows that a secure stance balances closeness, autonomy. You can invite and decline. You mistake intensity for intimacy. Intimacy is trust plus pacing. Keep your pace when a phone provokes urgency. Protect attention like breath. If a talk drifts into projection in relationships, pause, name what is yours to carry, and ask plainly for what belongs to both. Treat your life like a throne you maintain, not a crowd to impress. Standards make desire clean. Consistency makes it durable. Hold terms with kindness and consequence. Attraction settles into adulthood, steady and quiet. Now you can build, not beg. Build a life that argues for you. Begin with ownership. Name the motive before the move, the want before the ask. When heat rises, you don't outsource it to a face. You hold it in the forge and shape it into standards. Freud's projection weakens the moment you admit the wish and steer it. You don't chase proofs, you stack artifacts. Choose hours over applause, repetitions over reassurance. Defense mechanisms lose leverage when your calendar is the judge. Boundaries are maintenance, not drama. Become worthy of your standard. Nietzsche would call this rank earned by work, not ceremony. Quarterly artifacts, delivered. Training cycles, completed. Money and sleep kept clean. The attention economy is a tide. You build levees with routine. In dating dynamics, presence beats performance. Simple plans, clear terms, no essays. You stop orbiting and start creating. You mistake speed for progress. The proof is rhythm. Occupy the throne after you've paid for it in output. Choose self with inwardness and hold the line. Kierkegaard understood that private fidelity precedes public respect. Selection by deselection. Say no to one pleasant drain each week, yes to one compounding skill. Write SOPs for love and labor, time-capped messaging. Calm consequence individuation anchors masculine sovereignty. Your attention returns to the center. Walk the edge, keep your feet on the ground, and let the results speak for themselves. Output creates gravity. Build the order. Persuasion becomes unnecessary.